And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Rideshare Garage. This is episode 2 of 2024. We are coming live to you from all over the country again. Well, 3 of us are in the same part of the country, but I guess it just depends on if you're north or south of the Dade Broward line, because Dade County, Miami could be considered its own country at times. I guess. We got the Driven Dad with us all the way in from Denver. We got Nick with us all the way from South Beach via Kindle. What Omar, what did we used to call that down there where Ricky Bobby lived? What do we call that Cricket Farm area? We got Nick there in the Cricket Farms doing his thing. And then we got Omar, Mr. No Surge, No Service. I see the professor, our professor, our accounting professor has just joined us.
Yep.
See, nobody's got a lock on the professor now. We got our own Professor T in the house.
Yes.
And, so yeah, let's go around the horn, everybody. How's everybody doing? How's your week going? Go ahead, Mr. Nick, start us off.
I'm doing okay. This week has been a little bit slower, so I haven't been doing as much rideshare. Been doing more Amazon Flex. Kind of doing it that way. I've been getting the shifts, so as long as they give me the shifts, I'll take them. But yeah,
that one you got this afternoon was killer. That was a killer shift.
Yeah. It was a 4-hour shift, but I got it done in 3 hours. Really, I could have got it done quicker, but let's just say 3 hours.
We know why. If you were on the radio, we know why.
But yeah, I'm doing okay. I just wanted to pick up. I want rideshare to pick up so I can make more money. You know, I need a $400 or $500 day.
Okay. All right.
Is someone taking an OnlyFans day break?
Oh, you know
Yeah, well, all you guys cancel your subscriptions, so I gotta I gotta find other ways to make money.
Hey, I got the platinum subscription.
Hey, Eddie,
Well,
Eddie, I think
It's just I think they went to what was that, Coconut Club, and I told you, bro, don't go there. I ain't there.
Eddie, Tony wasn't talking about you. He was talking about Nick letting it hang out in the Cricket Farms down South Beach.
Wait, Nick is doing the OnlyFans too?
Yeah, now we got 2 of you guys up there.
Nick, man, money is good, man, but these people ask for too much and they start sending you pictures and you're like, dude, like, what the hell is this? Just enjoy this, just pay and enjoy the show. You don't need to, like, glorify it and, like, send the pictures, be like, oh, look what I could do. It's like, no, bro. We don't care about your acrobatic skills.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
This is how we start off.
Tony, you see what you started, bro? You see what you started, Tony?
Sorry about that.
No, you're not. You ain't sorry about it. You're like, it's the only time I get to have fun is when I'm on the garage. Yes,
Right.
Singers today. Tony, how's it going up there, buddy? We were watching your video a little bit before we came on the show tonight. Y'all make sure you subscribe to all the drivers down here because everybody's got great content. And the one thing I noticed, Nick and I noticed right off the bat was you guys already got snow on the ground up there.
Yeah, we had a little bit of snow. We haven't been having snow though. But basically, last week was a little bit slow. This week, still slow, but I made some adjustments. Just basically grinding more hours. And still, my goal is to make net $2,000 in a week.
Net, just after expenses, after everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I want to net over 100K.
You know what, bro? Eddie. This is your fault. Well, you know what, Eddie? I'm sorry. It's not your fault. You're inspiring this. You know that, right?
Yep.
I'm not saying you're inspiring it for actual drivers that do well, but I'm just saying in general. because you're the one with the $100,000, $150,000 a year, $180,000 a year.
No,
And now
listen,
Tony's doing his thing with getting out of debt, and he's shooting for 100K. I saw somebody else that if he hits 100K, I'll give him $100, even though I know he ain't gonna hit 100K. So
it is.
time to
Don't
his.
get me, it is hard. Don't get me wrong. It's just it's a pain. You got to put in the hours and stuff. But in my, I was having fun with it. I mean, when do you ever make $2,000 a week? At
Yeah,
what
well,
job?
I can't do the OnlyFans.
Yeah, no, that's additional. That's additional income on the side.
You can't count that.
Yeah,
Lisa,
you never count
Lisa,
that.
Lisa ain't going for the OnlyFans. Lisa, she said, nope, that's mine. All mine.
Oh.
That's why I got six. I got
No,
six.
no.
All mine, y'all. Go ahead, Tony. Finish up.
Yeah, so I'm about to pick up somebody, so I'll be ready to join in on the chat once we get to the topic you discussed before.
Oh, the OnlyFans topic. Okay, yeah, no problem. All right, buddy. Get that money,
Yep.
Hoff. Get that money. Mr. Steven, you're right below the driven dad, my guy Tony. How you feeling, buddy? You still around there spreading out germs and diseases amongst the populace of California or what? Because you didn't hit your governor yet, so I'm going to consider you a failure right now.
All right, man. I haven't been out since New Year's, really. So,
God damn, bro, you sound like bro.
yeah.
You need to put on a mask so it doesn't come through the screen at the rest of us.
Sorry,
Bro, Sergio got you?
You know what? I guess that's what happened. What do they say? You're 3 people removed from almost anybody.
That's true. It's true. So how you been doing,
Like
Steven?
the 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
There you go. Yeah. I've been sick, but the market's kind of been slow. I've had the apps on pretty much every day, watching and seeing what's out there, testing some opportunities as well. But things are. I'm sick, so I'm not out there. But
Steven, do you get deliveries on your app, Uber Eats?
yes,
You still have it?
yes, I still have.
Damn, they removed it from mine.
Yeah, I still have it. They did finally remove, if you guys select. It looks like Lux is still there, so I'm not sure if they actually plan on getting rid of Lux or not on Uber, but they did get rid of Select.
Yeah, I don't have Select here. I have been getting those business comfort.
Right. They didn't even give any kind of announcement or anything. I got it. I had it early, but they're just basically comfort rides from business accounts.
I don't see
nothing
the
special.
difference.
I'm not getting paid anything special off of them. So, yep, that's my.
And usually, if it's a business account, they don't tip.
I don't remember if they tipped on mine. I stopped taking them. So,
I've gotten tipped on a couple of business comfort rides. I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know, man. Professor,
the rate's not good enough for me to take them. So,
you know what? We're going to get into that tonight too, Stephen. We're going to get into that kind of stuff tonight, brother. Okay, because it's time to blow it up. Anyway, Professor Thomas, how you doing, Professor Thomas?
What's up, man? Everything's good. Talk to the in-laws. Everything going crazy in Ecuador, but they're batting down the hatches in the house. Even though everything that's going crazy is 4 hours away, they got a whole nationwide curfew. A lot of people are panicking, like they're shop panicking, like they're going to the stores, buying up everything and boarding themselves up in their house.
You want to explain to people what's going on, because it's your wife's family that's down there in Ecuador, right? A lot of people probably don't have any idea what's happening.
Yeah, so a drug cartel leader named Lito escaped out of an Ecuadorian prison. And so the president who knows? Because the president that's there, whatever he's been doing as far as to slow down the drug cartel from all the coke being ran through the country, being made in the country,
going through Venezuela, going to Colombia, going to Peru. He's cracking down on it, and they're not liking it because the previous regime didn't bother them when they were in office. So now that's why they ran up in the news station yesterday, taking it over, and they were saying to the president, hey, you need to either stop, resign, or we just gonna start
doing their thing.
Executing hostages every hour on the hour.
Doing their thing.
I'm sorry, doing their thing. I'm sorry. Yeah. Doing their thing. Yeah. And so prayers up to everyone over there. I hope to be out there sometime in July. That's if it's safe, but if mom said don't come, I'm not going. So
Yeah.
that's just how it is. I finally put together my YouTube channel, Accounting Time.
That's what I want to go to. I want to get that. I need that. I need the. I know I'm subscribed.
The link for the channel.
Yeah, I want to tag it in.
Okay.
So that, when we move on to Omar, just go in the comments, type it in the comments, type the channel link, and I'll star it up at the top. We'll pin it up so it's there.
Right.
So get more people in on it and check it. So what's your channel going to focus?
Right. So my channel is going to focus on the budgeting on all this rideshare stuff, with the time, with the gas, with your expenses overall. So what I want to share is I put together an Excel spreadsheet, and I got with a mad scientist. I got to send you guys each one the spreadsheet, and you could just go in there and start typing your numbers. Then you'll start seeing where your money is going, and then you could go ahead and act accordingly, whether if you want to draw back on something, so you can keep money in, because that's how we're going to make money. It's less money going out and more money coming in. So
You gonna start your own bookkeeping business?
have I ever started it?
No. Are you going to start your own bookkeeping business?
Wait a minute, Thomas. Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Oh.
Because Eddie's trying to be cheap right now.
Oh.
He's gonna listen. He's gonna offer you a 20% off his OnlyFans promo. Have you become his account? I'm just saying. That's what's happening.
Yeah, but I gotta earn my stripes. I gotta start doing shorts. Those will start tomorrow. So I can start getting my 50 shorts in, and then I can move up. And once I get enough watching hours, then I can start doing lives. Of course, I'm not going to do lives at the same time as the garage, because I'd rather be here in the garage, because this is my home. I found my guys. So it'll probably be it more than likely it'll be the of course it'd be Sergio and them on Tuesday, the garage on Wednesday, and I do mine on Thursday once I get to that point.
Hey.
Yeah. So
the
grind is real.
Very, very real.
Yes.
That's awesome that you got that channel started. I ain't gonna lie, I still ain't gonna watch the video, but I'm gonna do that tonight when we're done. While we're in Discord after show, I'll go in there and check that out. All right, good for you, Thomas. Go ahead and type that up down there so we can get that out there.
Yeah, Omar, hold on, let me go get my phone.
Omar, how you doing, brother?
Doing okay this week. Yeah, I guess doing okay this week. Trying to. I know it's been slow, so it's good to hear from everybody to see what they're doing and how they're switching things up. So, I'll get out there on the apps. I've been off the apps throughout the week, but I'll get on the apps starting tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. So, and this is the way I look at it. It could be worse. I could be a Dolphins fan right now and piss away a division lead with
this mother. You know what? Already in timeout. The dugout. Listen, you go clean out that Jets locker room and all them piss buckets they had in there from all them diapers are crying all year long. Jesus Christ. That's okay. I deserve that. I'll take one for the team, for the Dolphins. You're right. You could have it worse. You could actually, have an 0-17 team over there. Okay. All right, Eddie.
Yeah.
What's happening, Eddie? How you doing, buddy?
I've been pivoting over into my catering apps. They've been actually been paying pretty good. Usually about $19 for a 2 point something mile delivery.
Okay.
So I'm not complaining. Yesterday I think it was yesterday, right? Because I sent you a picture of it. I think it was like $43. It was 2 deliveries, and I did that under an hour.
Is curry in your market?
I do have a curry, but they don't send me anything. I turn it on, but they don't send me anything.
You got to reach out to Steve. You got to reach out to Steve from Rideshare Rodeos. He's in with those guys. Maybe he can.
Curry,
pull a little.
curry, and I turn it on, and they don't. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have it. I'm in there.
Well, they got a height requirement, don't they?
So
Yeah, they do a scrub to see if anybody's on OnlyFans, and they take you off the list.
maybe that's what it is. Oh, now you get it, Vinny. Now you get it. What the hell? I was like, he started it. He started this, and now he's like totally lost. See what happens when agent does to you?
Scrubbed on OnlyFans. I like that. All right. Melvin says, "Hey man, I'm glad I got lean. I leaned up in late 2022. We've been talking about that on the channel here for the last year, about everybody trying to get lean because we knew it was going to be a little rough coming out the gates this year. And so far, guys, it's been tougher than normal to get rides. I'll put it that way. Today I went out for a little bit, and this evening I didn't expect much. I could have went to an area where I knew it was busy, but I tried to stay closer to home. I paid the price for that. So today was kind of like a wasted day. But I mean, we're still out there making money. I know Nick had a good day today. Omar's hasn't been out that much because he's not seeing what he needs to see, which is understandable. Eddie, he's good at delivering ocho cincos, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Tonight's topic, though, I wanted to get into a little bit was because I have been catching hell because I am renting/leasing my Tesla. So the fellas in the chat, in the Discord, and on the radio have been busting my chops, right? And so I thought it'd be pretty good if we talked about that tonight a little bit. Here's the question for the panel. We're going to start at the bottom with Eddie and work our way back up, okay? Here's the question for the panel and for the chat. Do you think it's better to rent your vehicle, whether it's Tesla, gas engine, doesn't matter? Is it better to rent the vehicle for rideshare, or is it better to own the vehicle for rideshare? And it's a real question because each one has its pros and cons. So, Eddie, we're going to start with you, buddy, because you're the $150,000 man.
Man, I have always wanted to because when I got into this, I was actually kind of new. When I got into this whole ride sharing thing and the whole influencer and doing this stuff, I have always wanted to basically rent out my car, okay, and make money out of it, and then rent another one and ride share with that. But I was very limited until driveway came, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. So I think renting is a good way to go about it because if you can afford a rental, then you can actually afford to actually purchase it. And that's the way I was seeing it when I had the Tesla rental. When I had the Tesla rental, because my car payments for the Tesla was $666. Just don't mind the number; they screwed me on that. So those are my monthly payments. But then when I was renting it, I was paying a little bit over $500 a week, and I was still making the money. So if I could afford to pay it the rental way, then you can go ahead and just you can own one. But what I'm trying to do right now is see if I can rent out my truck and then rent a Tesla, and then see if I can balance everything out that way and make money still.
So my question to you is, you were able to have success with a rental through Uber Hertz, where you were only able to drive for Uber, correct?
Correct.
So for you, would you say it was worth it?
It was worth it. Yeah, it was definitely worth it. You had to put in a lot of hours because you were stuck only on the Uber platform. There are some little tricks that you can get around that. So, okay, let's use this as an example. When you rent the car, and let's say you have to register your car with other platforms, kind of like the catering apps. You know, now if I was to rent a car, I can still use the catering apps with the rental because I'm already registered with them. It's not like that. They know that I'm showing up with with my original car that I have registered. So I can get
What would you,
I can get around everything now.
okay. What would you say the biggest drawback to the rental was?
You get stuck to only one platform. That was the biggest drawback. So if you're
Okay.
not registered to any platform and you rent the car for Uber, then you can only use it for Uber. Now, if you already been in other platforms, okay, you lose your car and you go for the rental, then you might have options because you're already registered in other platforms, uh, such as Amazon Flex, catering apps, deliveries, anything like that. So
Okay. So in your opinion, and your opinion matters, in your opinion, do you feel as if um which would you prefer to do now? Would you rather rent the vehicle or would you rather own the vehicle? Before you answer the question, consider the current climate of rideshare.
yeah, yeah, man, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I'm not gonna know. I would like to rent right now if I could find a way to put my car out there and producing me money. Because if I get the rental, of course I gotta pay for the rental and for my car. But I would like to experiment and see if I can pull it off that way, in which I can rent my car, the one that I own, and rent and do ride share and do everything else with the rental and see if I can actually, pull through that way.
All right, but
I'd
say
love to
you
find
didn't
out.
have say you didn't have the caddy.
Uh-huh.
Would you but you have the ability to go and purchase a Tesla if you want or a rental car, right? I'm not trying to make this about Tesla. I'm talking about renting a vehicle versus owning a vehicle.
Yeah.
Would you still choose to rent or would you choose to purchase?
I don't know. I think right now I will go with rent.
Okay.
I will go with rent.
Okay. All right.
Just
Steven.
the interest rates. Kill
Oh,
it.
the interest rates will kill you.
Okay.
Steven, because you're in a unique position as well. And this is why I'm so glad this panel's here tonight. Because we got everybody who does everything here. What about you? Have you ever had to? Well, first of all, what do you drive? Because for the people that don't know what you drive, what
So
do
I
you do?
currently drive a Tesla Model Y 2022, a black one with 5 seats.
Okay, do you own your Tesla or you
I'm buying it, but
rent?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, well let's. I think we can all agree on. Let's agree on this. If you're renting or if you're buying, we still owe somebody something until it's paid off. Correct? But
Correct.
we're going to consider if you're purchasing it, we're going to call that a buy.
Okay.
All right. Well, I just want to be clear because of my guy
Yep.
at the bottom there. I got to be crystal with Omar. I got to be crystal. All right. So, in the situation that you're in, you were renting your car out for a while. You want to tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah. So for a few months there, I wasn't able to drive. I don't know what the deal was with the background check with Checker, but they jacked me up for a couple of months, and I wasn't able to drive on Uber or Lyft. I really wasn't delivering or anything, so those profiles didn't matter. But I wasn't able to drive for Uber and Lyft, and so I looked around for somebody that would rent my car and drive it for me, so just so that I'd have the money for the regular payments and the insurance on the car. So
Okay.
so they paid that for a few months, and then when I got reinstated, got everything back, I still decided to keep the rental
Renting it?
going. But he started making it complicated and whatnot. So eventually I pulled the car back. Plus, I was going to go into another venture with pressure washing, and somebody stole the pressure washer out of my truck. So I got my car back and started driving again. And that's where we are right now.
Okay. Have you been, before you got sick, you've been back out driving too, right? So you're actually back in the car. So when you got the car back from the guy you were renting it to, what was the condition? How many miles did he put on it? I mean,
condition was good. He put a ton of miles, probably a little bit more than me. So I bought the car with 14,000, just almost 15,000 miles. When I got it back, it was at like 62,000 miles.
God, damn. How many months?
I want to say like at least 3 or 4. Yeah. So that was the other thing. You know, in comparison to me, the way I drive, I expect to get paid a certain amount per mile. And his complaint was, even with all the driving he was doing, he wasn't making that much money. I think he just wasn't that efficient, or he was spending everything he got. One of the two. But I found him to be very inefficient.
Damn, how much was he not making a week?
Well, I mean, he was claiming some weeks it was really tough and and I was like for me, I'm still making an extra 1,000, driving on top of doing a W-2. You can't tell me if you have the vehicle available to you all day and that's all you're doing, you can't make the money. At least that's my mindset. And so I'm like, it just means either you're not putting enough effort into it, you're not analyzing your market well enough, and you're not positioning properly. You're making excuses for not driving at the best times you could possibly be driving. So I was like, whatever. So I ended up getting my car back and started driving myself.
Yeah, but at least you got it paid, right, for like 4 months?
True. Yeah. I mean, it was a benefit because it kept me kept the car. Didn't give me. I didn't have to worry about spending extra money out of my W-2 paycheck in order to maintain the car and everything. So yeah, it served its purpose.
Are you gonna do it again?
I would, but not with my not with my car, probably, if that makes sense. Like, I would buy another car for the business separate from my personal car. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I see what you mean.
So would I rent to people again? Yes. And I already have the mindset and everything for doing that. That was actually my original plan, building on top of my business. But until I wanted to make it where my vehicle qualified for commercial before I started doing that, which meant to pay off the car. But when they started getting rid of a lot of the incentives, Lux, I mean, my pay has dropped significantly. And so it's just, it makes it a lot harder to get to the point that I can pay off the 60, because you have to remember, I bought my car at a $60,000 loan. So.
All right. So then my question for you would be this. When you gave him the car, when you rented out the car, how many miles were on the car? 14,000?
I want to say it was like, no. By that time, I want to say it was in the 30s.
All right. So we'll say 35,000, and he had it for 4 months, and you got it back at 60,000.
Right.
So he put about 25,000 miles on the car. God damn.
I would say he put about 30, months. But yeah.
All right. So we'll go with 30. We'll go with 30,000 in 4 months.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna hold on to that number because we're gonna come back to that number in a little bit.
Okay.
Now you said that you would rent a vehicle again, maybe not that one particular, but even with the 30,000 miles that the guy put on the car, you would still go and rent the car out again.
Correct. So if it's the vehicle that I'm driving myself, I wouldn't want to put my car in that position. Because I would want to, I'd want to get the most use out of the vehicle that I plan on using. But I understand that if I have a rental out there, they're going to be, I look at it as a business expense and it's going to be abused. If anything, I'm looking, if I have another vehicle and I rent it out to somebody and they put a ton of miles on it, I'm looking at the advantage of the depreciation when it comes to taxes, so it doesn't bother me or concern me how much miles they're putting on the vehicle, and I look at it from the perspective of getting used vehicles first and building out a bunch, like having 10 cars or something before I even start considering getting newer vehicles. So no, that much mileage doesn't concern me.
Okay. Thomas,
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Have you had? I know you do. I know you do a lot of delivery stuff, but
Yes.
have you ever like what do you feel about renting a car versus owning a car for rideshare
Right.
or in your case delivery?
Right. For me, I like owning. I like having what I have is mine. I don't like renting. I rent an apartment. That's as far as it go. I'd rather own everything I have, and then therefore no one can take it from me, or in a sense of like my Dodge Avenger that had relays to the brake system that still cannot be fixed, and I had to turn around and buy another car outright and not finance it. Because last night I had sent you the Hertz link where they had the pictures of the Teslas that they were selling.
Right.
Yeah, and I would be a big component of that, but I'd rather save up half of the car and put that one big huge down payment, so I want the minimum amount that I have to pay a
Right.
month. Mhm.
Well, and then Eddie brought that up to me today too. Apparently this is something that's going around now that Hertz. If you guys don't know,
Yes.
if you drivers don't
Oh,
know, Hertz.
I literally have it up right now, and
All right.
compared to Tesla too.
So we're gonna God, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. We're gonna circle back to that. You know that Jen Psaki
Right.
witch, diesel, redheaded.
Well, you didn't. Yeah,
bitch.
you didn't ask me which one I
want to come
prefer.
back. I want to come back to the whole. We'll come back to that in a minute at the end of this segment, if you guys don't mind. So you would prefer to own,
Right.
just because that's how you're built. That's how you want.
Right. That's just my preference. I'd rather own than just rent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick,
Uh,
what's your situation?
okay, so my situation is that I mean, you guys kind of know my story if you know me. During the pandemic was when I started doing Uber and Lyft. Literally March 2020, and I had a regular X car. I had a Honda Accord, and I drove it into the ground. But it was my car. I loved it. I used to get the maintenance done. Used to do all of that stuff, and it was beautiful. It treated me well. I was able to it started my trajectory. And then I got into an accident last year where I wasn't at fault, but you know, the insurance company dragged their feet on it, and I still haven't been paid for that car. So it put me in a weird position of either I go and buy another car and just try to figure it out that way, or I just start renting. Well, for me, it made more sense to just rent because I still had that payment from the old car just hovering over my head. So I was like, well, I'll just go and rent. And yeah, so now I rent a Tesla. I started with the Hertz program and now, drive Whip. But yeah, and I rented a bunch of other vehicles as well. But like in that process, it taught me a lot about just like, I guess for me, I look at this as my business. No, it's not like I have a storefront, or no, I'm not like I don't have like a whole team in front of me or nothing like that. But I treat this as my business. And when I looked at my expenses in terms of like, just every week, what I was spending on gas, what I was spending on maintenance, and what I was spending on just the little nicks and knacks that would happen with my personal car. When I started renting, all of that kind of fell away, especially when I got the Tesla because, you know,
Right.
there was really no maintenance, and I'm not really responsible for the maintenance like that. Especially with Hertz. I mean, yeah, you got to sit in a long line. You got to basically take a day out of your time, but they cover the tires. At least that's how it was previously. So yeah, now I rent, and I would say I would prefer it now because this is our business. And the way that, for me, when I look at it, the way that we get paid is based on the miles. So if we're not driving people, then we don't get paid. So if we're not taking them down the street, we don't get paid. And with a rental, you get unlimited miles. So I
Okay.
would say I prefer renting rather than owning for the job that we do.
Would you say the payment is, let me see how I could, the expense of having the car, whether you're renting the car or whether you own the car plus all the maintenance on top of it, which way has been cheaper for you? Or, you know what, let me rephrase that. Which way has been more profitable for you? Renting it or owning it?
So for me, I would say renting it, because the maintenance I don't have to worry about. I don't have to take time out. I can literally just run this car into the ground, and once it breaks down, I call up my company. Hey, listen, I need another car. What's going on with your car? And I get another car.
I remember when you got rear-ended.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something, okay? When I was first getting to know Nick, right? He was just getting on our radio, on Omar's radio channel, and he got rear-ended. And he's like, "Oh man, I just been in an accident, blah blah blah." And I knew he was driving a Tesla through Drive Whip, bruh. How long was it before they had you in not another car, a new car?
About 2 hours.
No.
That was just the time that it took for me to drive from where I was all the way down to the area. Yeah, it was just about 2 hours.
Has anybody talked to anybody from DriveWeb to see if they have gotten a lot of the rentals from us?
Well, I haven't talked to him, but I can tell you there's about 4 or 5 people that are constantly in my comments, that are on the comments to this and in other videos that have said, "Hey man, we're waiting. Hey man, we're there. Hey man, we're just waiting." Oh
Oh,
shit, they didn't have any
so it
more
looks like okay.
modifiers.
So
We got a
DriveWeb
modifier.
is really liking us. Okay.
Well, I don't know if they're liking us because I got news for you.
Yeah.
Nick will tell you, Omar will tell you, even Omar notices in it now. When you're driving around town, if you see that Maryland tag, the next thing you're doing is looking for an Uber sticker. Because there's so many Maryland tags now down here that when I go to the Charger, I can count them. Drive whip, drive whip, drive whip, drive whip, drive whip.
Yeah.
And they don't just do Teslas, EVs. They do minivans, SUVs, regular cars. They'll rent you whatever the hell you want. So just, I want to put that out there. All right, Nick, that's fair enough. Tony, are you back with us? Or are you still on the ride?
Looks like
Tony must still be on the
Yeah,
ride.
he's still on a ride.
All right, I'm going to open this up to Omar because I know he actually has some valid points that he wants to bring up, and then I know he's going to have some stuff we're going to have some fun with. So,
Okay.
Mr. Omar, how you doing, buddy? You ready for this?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've heard some good things so far from everybody. So especially Thomas. Thomas actually kind of got me thinking a little bit.
Thomas, congratulations. Hold on, I got to. You know how hard that is to do?
Emotional damage.
I try my best, guys. I try my best.
That's what I teach. Omar, what's your deal? Now I'll let you tell your story a little bit, but you've got a QX60 now, right?
Right. Correct.
And you are purchasing that, right? You got the whole monthly thing going on, right?
Correct.
What were you driving before that, and what made you get into the QX60?
Okay, so before this, my last two vehicles was a Kia Sorento. That was an XL only vehicle, which I started to like as time went on. I just found like little creature comfort features about it that I really liked, as well as it had like that full panoramic moonroof, and I was like, man, this is really nice for a Kia. This is really nice. and the pricing of it was on point as well. And then before that, I had a Chevy Traverse. That vehicle was a little bit of an issue for me. because I do all my own maintenance, and it already had a lot of miles on it. So I was it was on its last leg with me, and but it worked out well for me. So it's how I got into the XL game. So and just to go back one more, my first car was a black Nissan Sentra, clapped out, if you will, and that was probably the vehicle that I gained. I did the best like income to spending ratio. I think I bought the Nissan for like 7,500, maybe a little more than that after, because I had to make payments on it. I was still in debt at the time. I actually got out of debt at one point in time. So I got to say, in one way, Rideshare helped. When Rideshare was paying the way it should and surging, I actually got out of debt. So I use that to my advantage. I use that vehicle, which probably after I replaced everything because it needed some work. I bought it with miles on it, bought it used. I had to replace. I didn't have to, but I wanted to. I replaced the struts, which come with the springs installed. The lower control arms, which come with the ball joint already installed. Tie rod ends. I had to do the wheel bearings twice on that thing. Holy crap, it burned through wheel bearings in the, I don't know, 50, 60,000 miles that I put on it. I had to do the rear drums and the rear wheel bearings as well. There was no videos on YouTube, so I had to kind of rediscover how to do drum brakes on these newer cars. And yeah, so I just learned and taught myself everything, and I did all the maintenance, all the oil changes. I was doing oil changes. I felt like every other week, I swear. And from that car, from that vehicle, I probably made 50K or more.
Okay.
So if I spent maybe 10K, look at the profit to margin ratio. So getting me back to where I am today, I applied that same logic with going to upper platform. So that's my thought process behind it. I'm still thinking to myself, is there I don't want to sound like a homer. Like I do have if I have a preference, it would be like what Thomas said, to own. But I don't want to come off. I know throughout this debate, I'm probably going to come off as like a rental hater, when in fact I think that you can make both of them work for you. And Eddie made a good point. You got to put in the hours. Eddie made he made a really good point right off the rip. You got to put in the hours, and whatever it is that you're doing with whatever rental you have, make it work for you. And regardless of if it's however you have it, whoever you're renting it from.
Okay. Would you, since you've gotten the QX60, do you think that was a good move? And I know this is going to take us off in just a slightly different artery, and then I'll bring it back in. But do you think it was a good move to go into the QX60, or do you think you should have stayed down with the Kia Sorento where you had X, XL, Lyft XL?
Oh, so one to answer that question, and I will answer that question, Vinny, because it's hindsight, right? My QX60 that I had before this, and so I did get a little off track. My Kia Sorento, I didn't get rid of that because I wanted to get rid of it. I got rid of the other two cars, and actually I feel like I turned a profit. The Kia, I was in an accident, and the accident was my fault. It happens. The car was totaled, and I got paid for it because at the time the used car market was doing this. And so I actually made out with money on that. So that down payment, I took a part of that down payment, and that's where we are today with the QX. So,
but what I'm asking,
so to answer your question, Vinny, would I have done it again? I'm leaning more and more towards I should not have done it. I'm leaning more and more towards that sad story that a certain someone told us about a certain Porsche that they bought at 21.9% APR, and then the game got switched up on them, and there they are. And so I've always had the mindset that what we do in rideshare, not gig work. I'm learning so much about gig work from all of you guys. So shout out to all you guys, especially Tony and really everybody, Steven, everybody, all you guys, Eddie. He's pivoting and doing his OnlyFans. Make sure you use your legs, Eddie. Okay, use your legs when you bend down.
Everybody likes.
You gotta use your knees.
Yeah, use your knees, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you should start selling knee pads, man.
But as far as rideshare goes, I always felt like rideshare. I always felt like it from day one that rideshare was like this. It was unsustainable what we were doing from day one. From all the guys that I met, Vinny, Elias, just everybody, Morrow, all the guys I've met down here that kind of took me under their wing, and we all became friends, and we all basically the thought process we all shared the thought process and knowledge. I realized, this is not sustainable. But I kept going up. I went up to XL, and then here I am with in the Lux Black game. So,
well, like I say, it's the reason why I asked that question is because in all of our videos and on every live stream, we always get asked the same question at some point. Every driver gets asked the same question: what car should I get for Uber or Lyft? And I'm always, I've been saying it for 3-4 months now. I think the pivot's down, not up. But we have a lot of guys in our market, a lot of drivers that not only pivoted up, they went up. Suburban, Escalades, Lincoln Navigators. I mean, creme de la creme vehicles, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 vehicles. And where they go, there's no, the requests aren't there right there for them right now. So now, and this is why I say it's going to bring us all the way back, Omar. There are a lot of people that would love to get rid of their vehicles right now because it's not sustainable. Whether it's going to be a repossession, they're going to let them just come and take it and deal with the consequences. Which, I mean, listen, if it comes down to a vehicle or your rent, which one's going to go?
Absolutely, my rent. And I'll just say this, Vinny, to your point, right? You've made this point before, and I'm still waiting on as well. I'm waiting on when the capitulation is going to happen with people that can't afford the vehicles that they're in. I've ordered X, and I had shoulder surgery. I think I've talked about this before on the program where they were ordering Uber for me every day to go to physical therapy. All kinds of cars showed up. Big vehicles that qualify for Premier showed up. So, I mean. So, and to that point, I'll just say you should also take some steps to secure yourself. I have full insurance, full coverage on my vehicle, and I have gap coverage as well in the event of the worst thing that happens. And in the event of, the car is worth more than what I owe, all that stuff. And it's also good to have some savings because, what if you slip and fall and you can't work? But that's the thing about renting or owning. There's so much to it. You got to keep going. That's the thing. When we do gig work, it's on us as the business owner to keep the lights on in a manner of speaking. So you got to put yourself in a position. My interest rate too is 5 that I'm paying on my truck. So right. I'm not hit with the some people are paying 7, 9, 10%. Like I've seen some numbers for people what they're paying on their Toyota Camrys. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so you put yourself in I put myself in a risky position, but it's not. From what I've seen, oh my gosh, people are forget upside down. They're upside down and buried 6 feet.
And let me tell you something. And not only, not only are they buried upside down in 6 feet, when these finance houses come back to grab these trucks and these cars, they're going to be upside down, and it's going to keep those things really. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So my point.
Also, Vinny, I'll say one thing: renting like what we have right now, like I guess the best. It sounds like the best thing going is the drive whip thing, right? We didn't have that.
That's right.
When you bought your truck, when I bought my truck, we didn't have that. If we had that option, right? I know I would have thought about it. I want to say that for everybody to understand that I am approaching this topic with an open mind.
Okay. So, I want to welcome back Ron from the Rideshare Culture because his ass has been like gone for a while.
Ronnie,
what's up, guys? What's happening? Can you guys hear me?
I thought I saw your name on the Epstein list, bro. That's why we didn't see you.
Oh, come on, dog. Come on, man. Damn, Omar. That's a good one. Thank you for
Jesus.
welcoming me. And
Jesus.
Swinging. Oh my,
Jesus Christ.
oh my God, bro.
hot, man.
I don't know. I thought Ron abandoned us. I thought he was mad at me. I thought I did something.
Nah,
I have no
man.
idea. But I know you've been busy working.
Let me explain myself. Is that okay to the
I mean, you
audience?
can if you want
Yeah,
to.
go ahead.
I'm gonna
Love
explain.
you anyway.
Well, basically, the latter part of 2023 has been a busy part with the job I'm at. So we had a lot more customers and more businesses to that we were working with over the holiday season too. So even prior to that too, we got busy. I had more tasks on me, so that's the reason why. I haven't even put videos on my channel to be honest with you. I had my last video was actually 3 months ago talking about the FedEx UPS delivery. Um, hey, so real quick, I want to answer that rent question that Vinny. But did everybody answer the question?
Mm-hmm.
Before I
Yeah,
go?
you were
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let me answer that question. So I'm still in the Hertz rental.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you guys how much I spent for the year. So January 6th, 2024 is 1 year that I've had this rental with Hertz. Um, when I
Oh
looked at
wow!
the
Wait a minute!
numbers,
Wait! That's right.
Mm-hmm.
When
yeah,
they first
January,
announced the program, you got the brand new. Are you still in the exact same car?
I'm in the same exact car,
Yes, sir.
50,000 miles later.
Woo! And you got that car
Yeah,
with 0 miles, basically, right?
basically, here it was 3 miles on it.
Okay, I just want
Yeah.
to be clear about that. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I had it for 1 year, and so for the year I spent with Hertz Uber $21,450 total with
Okay.
the payment.
Wow.
A lot of money, dog, for that. I felt
Wow.
like I could have bought exactly. I could have bought that right there, 21 model, and
Mm-hmm.
had the same. I had the same. I saw that screenshot by the way on the Florida Uber driver group. I could have had the same. Bought the car, same ride types, Premier, Comfort Electric, right? So, but yeah, I had that. So one of the things that happened over the latter part of 2023, November. So they gave, that they had the 180-day extension.
Mm-hmm.
So back in May of 23, they kind of gave you the option where if you kept the car, you could keep it for 180 days. You just have to get inspections, and they will automatically extend you when you have the money in your account. So November 23rd came, and that was my last day. They said you have to bring it in to renew the 180 days. So what ended up happening was prior to the 23rd, it was like October, like the 20th or something like that. Like I knew I'm about to turn this thing in, but I
Mm-hmm.
know that I have to reserve a Tesla through the Uber
Mm-hmm.
website
Yeah.
Okay.
in order for me to keep the same price, the
Mm.
same dollar amount, which
Mm-hmm.
would be the down payment of $611 and $418 per week. That would be that
Mm-hmm.
discount. I checked for 1 month, 30 days from October 20th to November 22nd. I checked to see if there's a Tesla for me to reserve. They had no Teslas. All they had was the Volvo Polestar.
Mm.
So I reserved the Volvo Polestar because I was thinking maybe I'm gonna change over into the Volvo Polestar.
Mm.
Well, November 23rd, 2023 comes around. I go into the office. The guy says, well, because you didn't reserve the Tesla, I said, well, you guys didn't even have it on the website. Well,
Mm-hmm.
because you didn't have it, we're gonna have to do an upcharge
What?
Mm-hmm.
of $42.
So they double fisted you, and then they put the foot in
Dude,
there too.
there's no
Yeah.
Vaseline, there's no oil, there's nothing. Dude, I got shafted so hard. I was there like, wait a minute. I'm in this car that I'm paying you guys all the time. But this is
Yeah.
$20,000 plus. And you're sitting in front of me saying, oh yeah, it's $42 extra charge because you reserved the Polestar and not the
Yep.
Tesla. So, but you didn't have it. So I try to talk to his manager. The manager can't do nothing about it
Of course
because
Yep.
not.
they're the ones that, it's Hertz that deals with it. So
It's corporate.
I'm looking to get into Drive Whip. The thing is, Drive Whip, don't have the Model Y black on black. I know Vinny has it because I see him. He's doing his videos on it, and that's the car that I would say that if you're kind of like if you want to stay in a rental game, that's the car to get because I mean you're getting that Lyft black. I'm talking to Lyft black drivers on the street, and they're telling me that it's coming in every week. They're getting about 20 average 20 Lyft black rides, versus Uber Premier. It's hard to get Uber Premier, and especially in this little car I got for Uber. Sometimes I feel a little bad for the customers in a Tesla Model 3 with Uber Premier. So yeah, but to be honest, to answer that question, all in all, I would still rent, but I would go to somebody like Drive Whip. I mean, the fact that Nick was like, yeah, 2 hours later he was in another Tesla. And here's another thing too with Hertz. So Hertz, I mean, they're the office, man. You wait in that office for like, I waited in that office for like, oh my gosh, 3 hours just for him to tell me, oh, it's a $42 charge. Then on top of that, I'm listening to other people's problems. This one guy had a voice recording of another of a Hertz rep on the phone saying that he was cleared of the do not rent list. So he's cleared. He's good to go. He's actually letting the guy listen to it. We can hear him. And the guy at the desk is like, "Oh, there's nothing I can do because you're still on the do not rent list." And I'm like, all these intricacies and all these problems. Where Hertz, you got Drive Whip out here. I mean, I've signed up with them through Vinny stuff, so they know who you were when I messaged. So I don't know if you got to refer to that or not.
They know who I was.
Well, because I said VinnyKuzz.
Yeah.
And I said, "Do you know the guy?" They said, "Yeah, we know who he is," because apparently he had a partnership with them. That's a little partnership with you, right?
They ain't giving me shit.
Told ya.
I thought you had a little partnership with them or something. Because
now his ego is gonna go to the moon. Oh my
Oh, shit. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. It just grew 2 more inches.
Jesus.
And I'll never give it in. I'll never get it in if I put 2 more inches on it. Listen, calm down a minute, okay? I got started with Drive Whip because of Nick. Because Nick was the only guy I knew that was with Drive Whip. And he told me, I hounded you, didn't I? I stayed on you a little bit, annoyed you a little bit, because I wanted to make sure, listen, bro, that's a lot of goddamn money every week. And not that the commitment is there, but the commitment is there, if you feel what I'm saying. So that's all I'm saying. Okay, Ron. So then, okay, so right now, you're still in the Hertz rental.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to say this too before you continue. So there's this rumor going around, and I don't know if it's true. This is alleged because this is on the Florida Facebook group for Tesla Uber Hertz drivers. It's a specific group.
Yes, Eddie does wear a pink thong. That is true.
Gosh, Lee. But the rumor is that the Teslas that have above 65,000 miles or more, people who still renting like the same as me, the same as I, that Hertz is not extending the rental. And then when you actually call Hertz to see like why are you not extending, the person on the line is saying they're not extending because they're going to be selling your car soon, so you need to bring it back.
Damn.
So 2022 models and 2023 models who got 65,000 or more is alleged. This is what the guy is typing. He has no type of screenshot or audio recording.
There's no proof. He's just putting.
There's no proof. But the way that Hertz run, the way they act, I'm not surprised if that thing could actually happen where, oh, we can't extend your rental, bring it in now out of nowhere and not let me know ahead of time. That's the thing, that this guy was like, they didn't let him know ahead of time, and he's not even in the area to drop the car off. He's like, so then they're going to be charging him a late fee now. From his
bro, they charge you.
This has to be in the terms of service somewhere. It has to.
Yeah.
Bro,
I'm
like Spirit Airlines. They charge you for air. If you walk in the office and you breathe their air, even though the windows are open and the air is free to them, they're charging you to breathe their air. Hertz is just a nasty company. And I was when Ron, you remember the first red flag I saw with them.
Yeah.
Fuck this, get me out of here. Here's your car. Bye later. Never want to see you again. Never go back. Okay. So then now, Ron, you got it resolved. Are you in a Tesla or are you in the Polestar?
No, I'm in the Tesla. I'm in the Tesla.
Keep your car.
I kept the Tesla because I really wanted to get the. If I'm going to switch over to drive whip, I didn't want to go into a Model 3 and then upgrade from a Model 3 to a Model Y. I just wanted to jump into the Model Y. Now I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like, maybe I should just jump in a Model 3 with with drive whip for now until they have a Model Y ready, and I could just jump into that. I think I should do that. I'm thinking about it because
I had to wait. I mean, they approved me. I was approved within a couple of days. And then I told them I let them know. I said, listen, I'm looking for a Model Y black because I'm already a Lyft Lux driver, a Lyft black driver, and they didn't have one. And then a couple of weeks went by, and then I got a text message say, hey, we got one coming in. What do you want to do? I'm like, when and where? There you go. When and where? And we were on it. That's the way it was. So
except for that first day, right, Omar?
What happened on the first? Oh man, maybe I missed out on something.
Go ahead and tell them, Vinny.
So what happened was, what
had happened was.
Damn.
Are we done? Can I go now? Can I have the floor? I'll put all you motherfuckers in timeout, okay?
I'll take you for that one. I'll take
it.
A
whole list of timeouters. So the day I was supposed to pick it up was the day. I think it was the day before Christmas. It was the day I was supposed to pick it up. The way it works with Drive Whip is they drop the car off in like a public place, and then you have to go to them because they don't have an office down here. So you go to where they dropped the car off. In this case, it was right across the street from the Dolphin Mall. It's at the International Mall. So I go down there December 24th to get the car. Ron, you know where I live.
Yeah, that's far, man. That's far.
Okay. At 35 goddamn miles, right? It's a 40-minute drive. Halfway to the Keys. Shit, I could have went to the Keys for Christmas. Mm-hmm. Right? I get down there and I'm like, where's the car? Where's the car? And I'm texting. I'm like, bruh, what time the car going to be here? Y'all told me. I purposely waited 2 hours after y'all told me it's going to be there. Anyway,
there was someone else that was asking the question more.
Yeah, well, we ain't going to get into that. Shh. Hush. Before I call yours, okay? Somebody had to drive the truck home. Anyway.
That's true.
So then come to find out that the truck was delayed. The carrier was delayed. So I didn't get the car that day. I went down there for nothing. I got the car the next day. It was in there on Christmas Day, and I went down there. But when I went down there, they had 3 black Model Ys and 1 white Model Y. So there was a car carrier with 4 of them. They brought 4 of them in. So that's how that worked.
So Vinny got finesse,
but that's not of it. The problem is
Vinny got finesse, and then Nick and the guy from Drive Whip took his deposit. They went to the casino. That's why you see Nick in that background there, man. He's living it up. Right now.
Nah, man. Seriously. For a moment, I saw Nick's background. I'm like, yo, this man living nice. I need to go to Drive Whip with the money. And then I realized it's a green screen. Hey, listen. I saw Nick. Nick, you dropped to Fort Lauderdale Airport?
Probably, yeah.
I think. Wait, do you drive a red Tesla Model 3?
Nah, I drive I got a gray one.
Ron,
never mind.
Ron, I thought it was something. Ron, you know what you just did, right?
No, I did. Don't do that.
You just said y'all all look alike, man.
That's not what I'm trying
to do.
Nick, don't let him instigate this situation.
Come on.
Nick.
Yo.
Just got back. Man.
On his first day?
Nah, I thought that was Nick because of the beard and the hat. Because dude had the hat back. Oh, come on. Not all of us look alike, dog. The hat was backwards with the beard. So I was because I was honking at dude. I was like, yo, Nick, but
can't you tell Nick and I are like twins?
Yeah, man. Y'all share the same genes. There you go.
Damn it, you.
Nah, you would know me because I'm whipping in and out of traffic. If I don't have a passenger in the back, I'm gone. In and out.
You said he had a gray one, so.
Let me ask. So Ron, let me ask you a question then.
Yeah.
If you had to do it all over again, with the rental? Maybe not the aggravation of the rental, but the rental versus owning a car, because you also own an Impala and you have a
I
Pathfinder.
got a Pathfinder. Yeah, that's Excel and Comfort on the Pathfinder.
So, which if you
Thank you.
because you have the option to do either or,
Jesus, that's
why did you choose to stay in the rental?
Well, to be honest, man, is that interest rate. So, because I was thinking about getting a new car. My Nissan is already up at 195,000 miles, and I don't have the Impala anymore. By the way, that one I got rid of. So I got a rental and I got my Nissan Pathfinder. So because that Impala was having issues, was having transmission problems, and it was going to cost me more money. But I would rent because of that idea that if something happens to the car, like what happened with Nick, thank God Nick is good. He was able to go get a car within 2 hours. And I mean, that's amazing that it's 2 hours to drive with. With Hertz, and here's what happened with Hertz too. Just another side note. I was at that, when you wait in that little waiting room, you hear everybody talking.
Yeah.
A guy got hit just like Nick. He couldn't get a car. They had no car for him at Hertz, not even a gas car. So the fact that they treated Nick and said, "Okay, we got you. It's not your fault. We're gonna give you that." Right. So I like that safety net, right?
Yeah.
And I would rent if the dominoes were stacked in my favor. I would rent. I'll make money that way.
The way I would rent if I could do it over again, I'd be renting. But my only concern here in Los Angeles is whether or not I had access to a commercial, which is the same with Tony's company. I forgot what they're called.
Test driver. Tony, the driven dad, used a company called Test Driver out of Colorado.
But I mean, their issues. I mean, we've been waiting to see what other areas they're going to be going into. I haven't seen anything, and I don't think Drive Whip
Well, what's
either.
Test Driver? Is that like Drive Whip?
It's similar to Drive Whip.
It's a little bit better.
Up there. Yeah, they rent Teslas. But we got to remember, guys, when I went to pick up mine, okay, this is a 2022. The one I got is a 2022 Model Y, okay?
Black on black.
That was probably 55,000 new. They had 4 of them sitting there. That's $300,000 worth of cars. So when you start thinking about like a company like Test Driver or Drive Whip or these companies, the amount of money that they have to put out to rent all these damn cars, they got to be sitting on $1 million worth of vehicles.
Vinny, you said 3 cars?
When I got mine, there were 4 of them there.
Oh, okay. That would be 200,000, not 300,000.
At 55,000 a piece,
Yeah, it'd be 220,000.
Yeah, okay, 220,000.
And you have the long range, right?
The point being is, if they brought 4, if they brought 10, bro, that ain't the only 4 or 10 they got in the arsenal. They got a lot of cars they got to take care of. So my question to Ron is, would you do it again? Would you do the rental all over again? And have you been profitable doing the rental?
I would say if I did my when I did my numbers, I'm looking at a 9% profit, 9.5, close to 10. I'm able to pay the bills. I'm able to have money on the side. Now, for the past month, because of the upcharge of the $42, that has gone down to like 6%. But because I'm an 8-year veteran, coming up to 9 years with Uber and Lyft, and having about 20,000 trips combined, both Uber and Lyft, I know when and where to drive to make that money. I was hearing what Steven was saying about his rentee who wasn't making even 1,000, and Steven is doing 1,000 even with a W-2 job. So, I think for me, because I know my area and I know what to choose, that's how I'm making my profit with that car. Because I'm gonna be honest, if you don't know what you're doing, you will go under with that Tesla because it is expensive.
Yes, you will.
When you look at that month, man, you're looking at over $2,000 a month on a car you don't even own. And they can also take it away from you automatic. They could just take it away from you. It's in that
Just for
TOS.
fun of it.
Yep.
Oh, we need that car back. So
Oh, you need to hit 30
but I still
rides
would
on
do it.
Uber. Oh,
Wait. See, I was going to mention that.
Wait,
I
say
haven't
again?
gone yet. I haven't gone yet. Make sure we understand. Ron's referring to the Hertz rental.
Oh yeah, Hertz rental.
Referring to the
which
other
has requirements beyond just paying for the car, which is
100%.
asinine.
You gotta do 30. Oh, I got another one. For you. So there was another guy in there. There's another guy in the waiting room. Listen, if I had me a little recorder, I could just have you listen to what the hell was going on in that room.
Bro,
Dude didn't do 30
what
trips.
the hell?
I know, but I would pay. I was like on my Instagram, but the guy didn't do 30 trips. 29 trips.
Yep. And they took the car from him.
He was fighting. He was like, "Come on, just give me a chance." It was the holiday season. I was with my family.
Yeah.
The manager come in. He's talking to the manager. All right, the lady is nice. She's able to overwrite that, so she overridden it. All right, she overrode it and said, "If you do it again, we have to take it from you." He has been driving that car for 8 months. So even though he spent all that money to them, and he missed one trip that 1 week,
they don't give a.
It's kind of like they want to take the car back from me. I was like, for what? He's paying you.
For what?
They're under pressure to get a certain amount of rides with EVs.
Yeah.
That's their,
Yeah.
So
and that's a
so
whole
what Steven said.
topic.
Yeah, man. So, but yeah. To answer that, yeah, man. I still would do the rental. I still would.
So
Hey, Ron.
here's go ahead.
Benny, real quick. Ron, can you talk about the maintenance aspect? Do you still got to go?
Come on, Nick. Come on. I got another. I said, Nick. Okay. All right. Because here's what happened. In December. So I look at the mileage. It's every 10,000 miles you got to go get this car inspected, checked out, and maintained.
Yeah.
So I'm coming up to like 40. I think I'm at December. No, December. I'm getting close to 50,000 miles. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they put a flag on my account because it got to get inspected. But I already got it inspected like about a month ago. But I'm putting miles on the car, so I wasn't really paying attention. Well, they don't extend the rental if you didn't do the inspection. You actually got to go into the office. Like you can't call them and be like, okay, I go right now, no problem. No, you got to go into the office, wait 3 hours. I waited 3 hours for him to say, I got to give you a voucher. But I was like, I already got a voucher on my email. He was like, yeah, I actually got to send it to you. So then you go over to the Pep Boys, which is one of their partners, to go ahead and get the car inspected. Well, I got the car inspected, and the guy was like, you all good. Here's the paper. He gave me a paper verifying that Hertz at HQ Hertz said it's all good. I went back to the office. Nick, listen to me. I see what you're doing here. I see you trying to cause trouble. I go back to the office because Nick know the pain. And you know, I went back to the office. Do you know this man said? The employee said, "Very nice dude. I ain't gonna lie. He's a cool dude. He's just doing his job." This man said, "Well, where's the rest of the paper?" I said, "What rest of the paper? I don't know what you're talking about. You told me to go get a paper that said the car was inspected by Pep Boys, your partner. It is certified because there's a number on there that certifies that the car was inspected, right?" He gave me the paper so I can get to you. And this man said, I waited another hour and a half for them to approve it because on his end, apparently there was another paper that wasn't needed. Apparently just showed up on the screen, and he was able to remove it because the manager removed it. It's even a headache from that. Like,
Nope.
Just I would say that you get your tire changed and get your maintenance done, but I was just like the process of that was even more of a headache. I was like, I need to come back to do this. I could have just made a phone call, but they told me, no, you got to go in the office. And I wasted half a day. Total hour wait time was about 4 hours and 50 minutes, almost 5 hours just for an inspection paper.
Damn.
So I Nick, I don't know if that's happened to you, but that has happened to me.
So I'll say this because someone had asked a question before, and I just wanted to quickly answer it in the chat about is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Something. You know, you got to figure that out. You had put the question up, Vinny.
Yep.
Is it worth renting? What does it take? How much does it cost? So I'm gonna give you like perspective, and then we can all just go from this. I spend just on my payments, not my insurance or gas, just on my payments, $6,700 a month. Renting at $250 a week is $13,000 a year. $500 a week is $26,000 a year, and we just heard Ron say 30-something thousand. $700 a week is $36,400 per year, and there are people paying because I've already seen it in the comments. I'm paying $700 a week for whatever rental they have, and it probably sounds like a Hertz thing, and so obviously it's important. I think Vinny's trying to allude to it's important where you rent from. That might be a almost a completely different topic than what we've been talking about. Whether it's good to rent or not to rent. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But just keep that in mind. And also, so what my payment is, $6,700 for the whole year versus those other numbers that I rolled off, and the peace of mind. When I'm done with this show, I'm going to bed. I don't gotta go to no office tomorrow to do what Ron just did, to get 5 papers, to wait 3 hours, or get yelled at by my wife because I drove all the way down to Doral and to bumfuck Egypt, and the car wasn't there, I wasn't ready. Somebody took my money. You know, I don't know. What am I talking about? What are we talking about here, guys?
Okay. So for the sake of the conversation, I'm gonna start with my little end like this, and then we can let the fireworks start. Number one, we always say never buy a car strictly for a ride share. Make sure you can pay for the car without ride share. That being said, here's the problem that drivers get into. It's not, listen, even with the bullshit rates, let's be honest. Even with the bullshit rates right now, if you needed to go out there this week and make $1,000, every single one of you people in the chat and on this panel could go out there and make that $1,000 this week, right or wrong.
Yes.
No matter
that's right.
Even with the rental.
Even with the rental. What I'm saying
Even with the rental.
Now
Uber
just
X and all.
stay with
Right.
me. If you're working a W-2, you ain't making $1,000 a week, you ain't getting $1,000 a week. We agree on that. Even with the shitty rates that we get right now, you can still go out there and make $1,000 a week if you needed to.
Yep.
Family, right? Yeah, no problem, Ron. We'll see you when you come back. Okay. So the point, my point is this: drivers see that. People see that when they get into this gig economy. They see, oh shit, I got flexibility and I can make the money once they learn the ropes. I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments like, man, I can't make $1,000. Yeah, you can. Keep hanging out with us. We'll get you there. Okay, we'll get you there. So now people will go and buy that car. Case in point, we had this whole pause. Before the pause, if I saw 20 SUVs, that I'm just using this as an example, Omar can correct me if I'm wrong. If I saw 20 or 25 SUVs total at FLLQ, that was a good day. Now, at any given point, I can drive into it and I'll find 25, 30, 35, 40 SUVs in that queue. What happened was all that free money that went out into the public, right? Everybody left their Nissan Sentras. They left their Plymouth Voyagers, right? That Richie Hustles drives, the Plymouth Voyager. And they went out and they got Suburbans and Escalades and all this other shit. But now that they can't pay for those cars, what's going to happen? And what happened with us down here? So in other words, my point is this: you should never buy a car and depend solely on rideshare, but people do it anyway. And then you're stuck in that car payment, no matter what. They're stuck in the car payment. What happened? Okay, Omar, what happened? I'm not saying you specific. I'm saying as a general thought. You wake up tomorrow morning and you find yourself in the case that Stephen was. Your background check hasn't cleared. You can't drive for either app now.
Well,
for whatever reason.
Okay, I gotta watch what I'm going to say there to answer.
Yeah, no Fight Club stuff. I'm just saying, no Fight Club stuff. Yeah. I'm saying.
Well, I will say this. Here's the thing. I will say this, right? Okay, that also applies to the rental too, Vinny. Which that payment comes at you real fast.
Wait. Answer my question first. Trust me, I've got your answer already for that other side of it. Okay. What happens if you wake up one morning and all of a sudden you can't drive and this is your only source of income? Now you got that pressure on you. You got real pressure on you, right? And now you're scrambling to get on Curry or go get them or whatever app you can find.
Or Eddie's OnlyFans.
Whatever. Right now
Right.
you're scrambling. You're scrambling because that money ain't there. You can't just flip on the app and go. With a rental, you can be like, you know what? Okay, I'm fucked. Here's your car. I walk away scot clean. I'm not saying the right way. I'm saying that's what when you rent, that's the number one reason to rent, in my opinion, is that if you got to, Grant Cardone says it best, the real estate mogul. Rent what you own and rent where you live, because in case you got to get up and go, you got nothing left behind you. You got nothing to keep you there. Car payments are tough. Then you start throwing out all these miles. Like Ron just said, he put 50,000 miles on that Tesla in a year. And he works part-time because he's got a full-time W-2. Steven's guy put 30,000 miles on the car in 4 months. You see what I'm saying? So we keep burning up these cars. When people ask me, well, Vinny, why are you getting a rental? A, because I think the pivot is down. That's number one. Number two, okay, I'm tired of burning up my goddamn cars. So if the pivot is down, I'm not going to chase a lower fare in my caddy. That don't make no damn sense. And number three, my wife's driving the car. So it's not like the car's just sitting there collecting dust, but it's only putting 50 miles a day on it versus 150 or 200 miles a day on it.
Your wife commandeered the car.
Yeah, no. This is why you have the exclusive membership to Eddie's OnlyFans, so you can sit there and play with yourself like that. Listen,
Well, I'm gonna start including the knee pads with the subscription.
But this is why I went this way. Now I'm going to take the next 3 months to see if this is worthwhile, the Tesla, and I'll have a really good data set at the end of 3 months. And I'm going to get with Professor Thomas over here on his, and we're really going to do.
Yes, we are.
We're going to do a real cost analysis. Yes. So anyway, that's my point. So you guys, so what's everybody thinking?
Right,
well,
cool.
my thought process is that if anybody's in a situation, and I kind of wish Ron would come back because I'm really trying to scratch in my head as to why he keeps putting up with that stuff, because he was gonna say that he would still stick with the rental, and I'm like, after all that, dude. So
well,
there's got to be more to that story that meets the eye, and I don't want to get all up in the man's business. So I think people make really bad personal finance choices, which you said already, Vinny, and they don't have a plan. And I love what Tony said at the beginning. I'm trying to make 2 G's with that thing. If I did what you did, Vinny, that would be my goal. 2 G's a week. If you are paying $30,000 a year on rental,
2 G's gross, 2 G's.
You better freaking bank.
2 G's gross or 2 G's net?
Oh no, after everything. Well, no, probably 2 G gross because the way this market's going right now.
No, that's what I would expect.
I've been collecting data. I've been collecting data on comfort.
No,
rides.
see, I'm about to say he said he's doing net.
Yeah. So I mean, yo, dude, that's a hella fucking thing. 2 G's per week net. I would have to do gross, but if I could do net, I'm certainly gonna try. Like Vinny said,
I would have to go gross for that. I don't have enough time.
So and see, well, that's the other part to it too. So let me square away Omar real quick.
Well, I just wanted to make that point very crystal clear. You have to bank. And that me saying that makes me sound like a hater. I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm stating the facts.
That's not being a hater. That's the reality of it. If you're going to rent, you got to get 2 to 3 times.
You have to know what you would require of yourself for it.
And then on top of that, going to what you see right here, work smarter. Yes, put in the hours, but I like what Tony's doing. He's got the different things that he's doing, and Eddie too with the and also Nick, with the Amazon Flex. Eddie doing the the catering orders. Like, definitely make yourself more available. So it's, if you're doing it full time, if you're doing it part time, I don't know how you can do it. I'm sitting here scratching my head as to how you do it.
All right.
So my initial.
Hey Vinny, did you want me to chime in?
Oh, absolutely, go for it.
Come on in, brother.
Come on in, buddy.
Yeah. So
Tony, you're the one person I look at that's the exception to the rule, man. You are doing it right.
I think that it really depends on what your goals are. Like if this is a side hustle for you, it's truly a side hustle, not a full-time gig. I would not rent a car for that, unless you're in particular needing a car and you're going to use the Uber or Lyft or whatever you're doing for the rental to pay for the rental so that you have a car for everything else. That's one situation, I guess, but just get yourself a cash car that's not your personal car, and do like food delivery. It's way more profitable per mile and way less miles on your car, and it's an easier side hustle to do, unless you have to do rideshare hours because your job takes away the lunch and dinner or whatever. But get yourself a separate car that's a beater, but good enough that it's not going to die. And then flip your way up into a better car. Flip those cars, because if you get like a $6,000 car, $12,000 car, you could still probably get like 3,000, 4,000 for it if you sold it private. Somebody's going to need it. Look at the bottom of the market on the cars in your area and see what the lowest is that people are getting for like $300,000 or 300,000 mile cars. So you could still, even also if you get like Priuses or something, you could probably, even if you have Uber, open up Uber fleet account and find Uber Eats drivers or Uber drivers that need to rent, and you can start your fleet too.
And to add to that, Tony, real quick, they're like here in the state of Florida or like in South Florida, with the used car prices going through the roof, they're offering at least $1,000 for a car that runs and you can put it in gear. So at the bottom, you're getting 1,000 to 1,500, no matter what shape or how many miles your car has, as long as it drives. Just to add to what you're saying.
Now, if you want to try out, like, see if a Tesla or a Suburban or whatever is going to be what you think it is, go with somebody who can get you into the platforms that you can that you need to get into, and gives you access to private clients if that's what you're trying to do, so that you can see if it's worth your investment, or if you can just try it out, and if it doesn't work, then at least you're not on the hook for a big car and a big payment and low gas mileage, or if you're in a Tesla, like just a huge car payment and insurance, so.
And one other thing that needs to be said here, like, you guys, when you got to do your taxes at the end of the year, the car rental is 100% write-off.
But it's still, I'd say, with the mileage I put on, like, I've had this car for since May 22. I have 110K on it. I got it with like 6 miles. So that's probably between the 2 years, like $30,000 of expenses that I couldn't write off versus what I did write off.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. There's so you have to, I really think at the end of the day, I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer. I think you could find reasons to go either way with it. And that was the whole point of me wanting to do this tonight. When I let everybody know earlier, right? This is why I wanted to do this. And I think it's some discussion that's going to be ongoing, and hopefully people will be able to come back and look at this. It all it all depends on what your situation is and what you're trying to achieve. If you are going, somebody said it in the comments earlier, if you're going to be committed to the game, the right, and you're going to rent the car, let put in the work. You're going to have to put in the work.
How many hours? 60 plus.
If that's what makes for you. How do you now? Another thing that's a different topic of discussion is how to make this work for you, because I've heard people say this, and I didn't notice about making renting into your credit report. I didn't know about that, so that's another thing, because I was going to make the point that renting doesn't help your credit.
Okay, you done? I didn't want to do him. I was going to do him for a minute, and then I was like, nah, I'll let him finish. Damn it, Omar, not in loss. Okay, so you got to make sure you're going to be committed to this. If you're only going to do this part-time, do it like just find you the cheapest car that looks decent and then just go ahead and burn it up. Those are the two ways to look at it. Also, keep this in mind. With Uber rental, you can only drive for Uber. You can't drive for anybody else. With Drive Whip or some of these other, or Test Driver or whoever it is that you use, make sure that you can drive for all the other platforms, or else it's a waste of your time. Because, and I'm gonna bring Eddie in on this one, because
And no dumb limitations.
well, everybody knew when Eddie was banging out those rides and he was making the $2,000 a week every fucking week, right? Eddie, what was the biggest? You had the bonuses.
Yeah, the
You had the
bonuses were good, and the
bonuses.
bonuses. But I knew sooner or later it was gonna go away.
Yeah, you don't
I
have
knew
those.
sooner or later. You know. So
And
that's why everything is bad right now. That's why I record my good and my bad. You know, because I knew sooner or later it was gonna be it was all gonna be taken away. So
That's not all he's recording anymore.
So you really have to consider those two things as far as I'm concerned. Listen, right now I'm okay with what I'm doing. I'm okay with the rental. I'm not having a problem making the money right now with the car. Tonight was the slowest night, and everybody was on the radio, heard me say it. It's my fault that I didn't go to the area I should have went to. I tried to stay close to home, and I paid the price. So there it is, right? But I've been making good money, not great money, not bad money. I've been making good money. That's all I can say. I've had the car. I'm in my third week now. I'm already over 3,000 in gross earnings, not counting this week. Okay. What do you want for 2 weeks? Trying to learn comfort and all that again. So I'm just going to put that out like that. All right. Anybody else got anything on this topic they want to add in?
Well, so real quick, I just want to add in. I know everybody, and I want to be kind of like a little bit different of a voice. I know everybody is saying get a beater, get like a $6,000, $12,000 car. I'm going to be the person that says I thought about it and I actually did. But with those cars, when you don't buy a brand new car or you don't buy something fairly new, every car has issues. And yes, it's smart that, and I want to recommend that everybody learns how to do your own maintenance and your own like oil changes and all of that stuff. But if you don't know how to do that stuff, and you're going to a dealership or you're going to a local shop, you're gonna get hit in the head by buying a beater because you're gonna have more maintenance than you would if you have a new car or a closer to newer car. So, I mean, we talk about the expenses of Uber drivers, but I think that's a big issue when you're buying a used car. You also have to you have to factor that in. And that's a real thing. Like, yes, you run the car into the ground, but what happens when you gotta buy struts? Struts, when you gotta go, not when you're doing it yourself, or you gotta change out your suspension, or you gotta get another alternator, or you have to, get a tune-up. Like, these are routine things that shouldn't be a big problem, but what happens when you have to do that and you got to go to a shop or a dealership that's charging you $600, $700, $800 for that?
Yeah.
So always take that into consideration. And for me, that's why I rent, because I never have to worry about that. I give them the car back. I'm good.
Yeah, that's why when you get a beater, you get like a Toyota or Honda, something cheap to fix. If it does need to get fixed, but you gotta flip it, right? You gotta move up, so you're not spending all the money.
Yeah, well, the other thing I would say to that is make sure that you take when you want to buy something, you want to buy a used car. If they're scared for you to take it to a mechanic, then it's not a person you want to buy from in the first place. Have a mechanic that's willing, if you have a mechanic that's willing to meet with you and look at the vehicle, or you can have the person drive the vehicle over to your local mechanic. That's probably the best bet that you can get. And like the Driven Dad said, I mean, I would only touch a Toyota or a Honda or something like that if I was going to be buying a used vehicle, just so I can run it into the ground and get extremely profitable off that car. Get rid of. I mean, and eventually it's gonna fall apart. That's what I expect.
That's
And grab another one.
that's
So
the
if you get it
pros
for
of
like
the Tesla. That's
12,
the pros of having a Tesla.
but if you have to start
That
from scratch and you don't have credit or you don't
right,
want to get into debt, like
right.
you start off with like as cheap as you can if you have to start off in food delivery or something because it's no like vehicle requirements. You just keep flipping your way up.
Right.
And that's not to say that choosing to go rental instead of buying a little beater is a bad thing. Maybe you need to go rental for a while to save up some cash so that you can buy yourself a beater, or you need a little extra money to get to that beater. But make sure that when you're analyzing that cost and you know how much you need to make extra in order to be profitable and reaching toward that goal. Not that you want to stay stuck in the rental forever because it's easy to get complacent and now you're just making these payments to Hertz or whatever the platform is without actually making it anywhere, making it to the goal that you had originally told yourself you were going for.
Well, the one
Just kind of keep this in mind that right there in your backyard, Stephen, there's a guy named Wilser who made $13,000 in November on a moped type vehicle doing Uber Eats and DoorDash.
And I was at an auction where they sold one of those for like a couple $100. Like, because there was a car thing, and all of a sudden this moped comes up, and the guy says $100, and everybody's looking around like, "What?" He's like, $100? Anybody?
the other part to that too is when we look at you guys know him, Weasum, the gigwithit.com official unofficial sponsor of the Rideshare Garage. His first Model 3 he bought, he paid it off in the first year.
Model Y.
Nah, the first one he bought was a Model 3.
Yeah,
he's got two of them.
He has a Model. Let me see. I thought they were both Model Ys.
Well, I could be wrong.
Okay.
I thought it was a Model 3.
Hey,
and he paid it off and then got another one. So if you are going to buy something, work your ass off that first year to pay it off. Get it paid off.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and he did it at a great time though.
Right.
He was hitting tons of bonuses.
Well, that's my thing. So now you're playing with house money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you're playing with house money.
And so to your point, Vinny, that's why I came up with the 2G number, because if I was spending $500 a week, 2Gs a month, I want to make it in the first week, and then the rest of the month, my choices get a lot simpler, and I feel less and less like an ant, or less
stressed,
like to the system. So I want to touch on Nick's point a little bit, because it's a valid concern. It's a very valid concern, and not everybody. Sometimes I struggle with this. Not everybody just has the forethought to, like what Nick was saying, you know, hey, this looks like a good car, looks like a good deal, and then you get shafted, right? So, when I first bought going back to my story, when I first bought that Nissan, I did a lot of research because I also saw what people were making, and I said to myself, no way, man, this is BS. So I'm going to get into Uber, but this is BS. So again, I went into it with the healthy skepticism, and when I researched my car, went on forums, Nissan forums, because there's like a big following for the Sentra. So to read up on the problems that it had, the CVT transmission and this and that. And so I said to myself, I'm going to buy a car with high mileage, front wheel drive. I used to do pizza delivery when I was in college. No, not in college, teenager. When I was in high school, I made good money back then too. And I knew and I learned back then about cars and stuff like that. The wear and tear I put on my little Toyota Camry back then. So I said, okay, I know that I'm buying this car and I'm probably going to be doing some hard miles on it. So I did a proactive thing. I changed out a lot of things that I mentioned before when I first bought the thing. So I put some capital into it when I first bought it. Obviously, I was making payments on it though. So I put the down payment on it, and then some money that I had, I bought some parts. So I said, hey, this thing is running in good. It's running good. It was running good when I bought it, but I could feel all the little, bumps and things of that nature that I didn't want, that made me uncomfortable. It needed new tires, stuff like that. So I said, I'm just gonna do everything so that it starts the right way. And I had a plan. like I said, I knew how much I wanted to invest in it. I said I'm not gonna. When I got to a certain point, I said I'm not investing anymore, and the money was good. I was making Lux money doing Uber X. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
showed you guys the screenshot. Remember that screenshot I showed a couple of weeks ago of an Uber X ride I did with the surge from South Beach to FLL? I mean, or from downtown Miami to FLL? I'm telling you, that's the money I was making. I did a $200 ride on X on my little Nissan Sentra. So I was like, all right, the money's there. So I had a plan
Yeah.
to where I was making more than what I was spending. Like the income was definitely exceeding the outgoing, and it worked out. And something came up, I knew how to fix it because I had the internet and I had a resource to research. Now, what if you don't have that, right? Here's my second point. I said it before, I have a game plan. I bought the Kia because we have a friend, Vinny knows who, that's a pain in my ass, but we love him. We love this guy because of their warranty. And my Kia had an extended warranty through a company called Endurance. That extended warranty gave me 3 oil changes a year. It gave me 1 battery up to $100 credit or $150 credit, something like that. So even if the battery costs $150 and they gave me $100 credit, you get what I'm saying? And they gave me a $100 credit towards a brake job and 1 fluid flush or something like that. So it came with some maintenance as well as the extended warranty. So if you're gonna buy a used car, most cars today, you probably might have to get an inspection on it. Which again, Steven said it best. If the person is not willing to let the car get inspected, you better go to another dealership. And dealerships are a dime a freaking dozen nowadays with the amount of cars that they have on their lots. So
You see,
an extended warranty is the answer to uncertainty of what if I have to spend on something, because if you shop around, some extended warranties will cover some maintenance. Not all of it. They definitely won't cover tires and stuff like that. But things like what Nick mentioned, struts, they will cover that because Endurance did cover it. Because I had a problem. I had one issue with my Kia. I don't remember what it was. I think it was AC related. I took it to Kia, the Kia dealership in Hollywood, that's owned by the mayor of Hollywood, coincidentally, and zeros. I might still have the receipt here somewhere. Zeros, all because of my warranty paid for it. So I just wanted to get that point out as there are solutions, but you gotta have a plan. Whatever you go into.
And now I'm gonna bring it. Now I'm really gonna bring it back. Now I'm gonna bring it all the way
Oh,
back.
and I have an extended warranty on my QX60, full thing.
All right, good for you, buddy. Good for you. Good for you. Good for
My
you.
warranty's done. It ended at 50,000 miles. Just so you know.
So again, this is all going to come down to if you're just a part-time person, you're going to put in 10, 15 hours a week. You go out there and make an extra 150, 200 a week. None of this applies to you. But if you're full-time with this, you got to make it a business. And then you got to decide whether the business is going to pay a rental cost and take the tax benefit, or or if you're going to buy it and then, expense it out that way. So there you go. Okay.
I was just about to say, I was like, I was the main prototype of what everybody's been talking about all day. It happened to me. I had a car that I was making payments, couldn't drive it, sensors and stuff was burnt out, auto workers are on strike, and I had to make a decision. Do I still keep making payments on the car, or do I let the car go and get something else? Well, I had to do both. I had to take the car and sell it back to the dealer, and then only got $2,400 when I still owe like almost $8,000. And then now I was stuck with the difference that they sent me a letter today and saying, "Oh, if you want to settle out, you can pay this $1,300, and then you could just go on about your business." And then I still bought a beater type car that I can still use, that I could run in the ground, make that money, and make some of this stuff back on what I lost. So
No, I mean, and at the end of the day, that's the bottom line, guys. That at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. So I'm kind of hoping all of this is helping some people out there. I thought it was going to be more of a fireworks from Omar, but I'm going to give Omar a whole lot of credit here because he was full of piss and vinegar chips earlier this morning when we talked about this. And now he's become a whole lot more open-minded to understanding that there are two sides to this coin.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I also can't say everything I want to say because we talked about this offline. There's just a number of things that I'm not going to touch on because it might sound irresponsible. But if you join us in the after chat, we can get into the finesse conversation.
All right.
I think he's saying. I guess there's a Fight Club meeting in the after hours at the elbow room. So if you guys want to come into that, you can. Anyway, fellas, let's wrap this one up. It's quarter till. I think it's a good show. Also, all my Tesla people, listen. Sometime next week, we got to get this. Rideshare Garage Tesla edition up and running because I know there's going to be a lot of people going to want to pay attention to that. But I'm going to leave the date and time up to you guys. So I need you guys to powwow because I'm following your guys' incentive or you guys' leadership. I'm still a rookie. I'm not a noob anymore, but I'm still a rookie when it comes to the Tesla gang. So anyway, let's start with Nick. Nick, let's start taking us home, buddy. Final thoughts.
Okay. Final thoughts. At the end of the day, a lot of people ask, what's the best car? What's the best car for Uber and Lyft? And there's two sides to a coin. You know, what the consensus is that you want to buy a beater. But just to clarify, not.
Oh, shit, he froze.
Did he just froze?
Yeah.
You want to make
Hurry
sure.
up, grab a
Am I
Snapchat.
still here?
Take a picture.
Take a picture.
Can you
Somebody.
guys
We
still
can hear
me?
you.
Oh, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
But you're frozen like this.
Maybe his time at the charging station is expired.
Oh, look, Buddha showed up.
Oh man, ain't no idle fees.
Yep.
All right. Tony, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, buddy. Give us a final parting thought.
Man, just make 2024 the year that you don't get screwed, even though the administration is trying to screw us over.
Yep.
Set yourself up so that you have some backup plans. For me, I'm definitely registering with Colorado Public Utility Commission so I can do my own rides, as well as starting up. If you follow Rideshare Rodeo, he really promotes a company called Dumpling, where you can do your own grocery delivery service. So I want to cross-sell people on that in my Uber ride if they're in my area, if they already use Instacart, so just be ready to diversify into something that's not a gig app, that's your own, just in case.
Okay.
Well, I heard a robot. She's still there?
I just said, plus that's probably better profit, so that's all I got.
All right.
All right, next.
Thomas, what do you got for us, buddy?
Well, my thing, I was gonna piggyback off what's name was saying before he got cut off. The best car to do Uber in is the one that you know the most about, the one that you can fix easy, the one that you know where to get the parts for cheap, brand new, not used,
right?
And just have the discipline on keeping your money together just in case while you're trying to get all these parts to get this car or a car running right, or saving to get the car that you really want so you can level up. You always gonna have to take account of expect the unexpected. That's why in math it's called the X factor. It's unknown. You have no idea when it's going to happen, when is this going to come. And as was the Ohm's law, what may can't happen will. So just be prepared. You know, I do this with 2 W-2s, and I use one car to deliver food. I use the other car to deliver people. That's it. And I make it that way, and I save every little bit I can. And thank goodness I'm not paying everything myself, you know, because then I probably will have to be like Ronnie, you know, doing the W-2 and putting in 60. So, you know, everybody is different, you know. So I'm a little bit lucky on that part, but I was the main one that got shafted by having a car and financing it, and then next thing you know, certain things go wrong and automakers are on strike and you can't get your car fixed and you just stuck. Melvin out there still ain't. How long Melvin's been out with his caddy? Almost 9 months.
Man, that cat is sitting now since what? September? August, September of last year?
Yeah.
Been sitting waiting on parts with Melvin?
Yeah.
It's craziness, bro. Insanity, dude. Insanity.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd
We
be all
don't.
over their shit. They would have already
Yeah.
bought the car back. They would
Right.
have back.
Yeah, because I'm just saying, just be careful on everything you do. I got lucky, got me another Nissan that I still got parts in the closet that I can still put in the car and keep it running. Thank goodness. But definitely have that discipline. You know, drive when you know it's slow. Drive when you don't feel like it. Drive when you feel like it. You know, drive when it's no event. Drive when it's an event. You know, just the grind is real. It doesn't stop.
I heard that. All right, Steven.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
final thoughts on owning and buying.
Owning and buying.
Well, that's what we talk about tonight.
Yeah, but I think we beat that. No, I was kidding.
Nah,
I like the idea of renting, especially if you have a plan. So if you have a plan, you have something written down that you can keep track of, and you can mark off your steps to what you're trying to achieve. It can really work out for you. It can benefit you. I think I agree with Thomas. Your best vehicle is going to be the one that you know best, the one that you know the best to get repairs for, and what situation around you. But sometimes you have to expand outside your situation to make it a better one, right? So, learning how to properly buy a used car can really save you, especially if you plan on being in this game. But what I was going to say for people to benefit from is pay off it. Right now is the time where you should be paying off as much debt as you possibly can. We don't know what stuff is coming up. So, and it seems like there's a lot of financial upheaval. So paying off as much debt as you can is going to be really important. And if you can manage it, build a basic emergency fund of $1,000.
Yep.
All right. So we have Ben Lewis here. Renting a vehicle for over $1,200 a month makes 0 cents. So does paying for $1,300 for a car, the same car a month, makes 0 cents. And when you throw all the insurance on top of it, makes 0 cents. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We laid out a bunch of different scenarios, pros and cons for both. It's up to the individual to make the decision. But we respect everybody's opinion, Ben. So you're
absolutely
renting is a necessary evil.
Yes.
Yeah. I would say, I would add to that statement, makes 0 sense if you don't have a plan.
Yeah.
My question also
it's an incomplete statement. Like, there has to be more to it. You have to add context to it.
Yeah. Right. So my question to that is, like, do you follow the same advice that you're saying about a car for your living situation?
Right.
Because maybe you can't buy a car. Maybe you have to rent. Maybe you can't buy a house. Maybe you have to rent. Maybe you need roommates. Maybe this. Maybe that. Yeah. So
I mean, it also depends your market too. But at the end of the day, you just gotta go. Just gotta go.
All
Is
right.
it my turn? Is it my turn? So I can throw in my 2 cents. Kind of like.
Yeah.
It's all on you, buddy.
By the way, carnivore diet. 30 weeks in. Ooh, I'm eating a lot less though. Eating a lot less. I have to stop eating at 5 p.m. because if I eat past that 11 p.m., dude, I wake up like right now. I'm freaking up. For Lynn, oh my god, I forgot the girl's name.
So Ladine,
She was asking about the rental. Listen, go for the rental. If you can get the drive whip, go for it. 60 plus hours. If you can afford the rental, you can afford to buy your own. All right. Just deal with it. Just go for it. It the way that I see it, you're better off being $500 in debt than being $30,000 in debt. So with the rental. And besides that, the only advice I have is make sure you have your other apps in there. And if Rideshare doesn't work out, you can always move on to your other apps, kind of like um, oh my god, the delivering apps. But you just gotta go. You just gotta go. You just gotta go out there. You gotta make it. Just how much time you gotta put in? 60 plus hours. Absolutely no breaks, no excuses. If you feel like crap, you gotta go. If you don't feel, if you're like sick and you don't want to go, you still gotta go. If you got an emergency, you still gotta go. If you gotta go to the bathroom, empty cup.
okay. Omar,
Uh,
final thoughts, buddy.
So it's a chicken and egg thing, right? When it comes to this, everybody's saying, do the rental or own your own car. But what if you need money? So yeah, do the rental, but you got to pay up front for the rental. So then to put to stack money, you got debt. Okay, can't. So I'm gonna go buy a car. It's a chicken and egg thing. You really, really got to think about it. I hope that we kind of helped you get closer to a decision if you're out there thinking about what to do. But it is a chicken and egg situation. One way or another, you got to have some capital, and that might involve, like what some people have said here, having a W-2. The W-2 could be your side thing, having a part-time job, and wanting to do more driving or gig work more full-time. But definitely, you got to have some income coming in. So to add to that, I would say my final thoughts are when it comes to renting or buying, I'm still in the buy category. But whatever you do, you've got to work smarter. You absolutely do. You can't make yourself or leave yourself like what Eddie just said. I don't feel good. I got to work. This, that, I got to work. Also, if you're just doing Uber with a rental, I don't think it's gonna work. You've really got to. Okay, let me choose my words correctly. You really just got to put yourself out there. That's probably the best way of putting it in a PG-13 way.
Right.
Okay, you got to make the rental work for you, and or whatever it is. Like you have a payment, whether it's $1, $5, $10, $1,000. You've got to say to yourself, "This is how I get to that amount in this amount of time," and then expedite on that because it's about making money. I think some of the points that we've said today, you get you lost as far as, all right, I paid my rent this month. Now what? No, fuck that. That's what I said a couple of weeks ago about when the work is there, you go. I put in 15 hours on New Year's because I was like, yo, it's there, it's surging. I'm gonna keep going. Until my body was just falling asleep on me. So yeah, the whole
And that's the
point
thing
of
that a lot of people
the
don't
whole
understand
point
with
of all of
the
this
ride
is
share.
to make money. If your bills are 30,000 a year, see if you can't make 100,000 this year. Like that's the whole point of what we're talking about. What gets you to the end game of whatever it is? If your end game is to stop doing gig work, then again, what gets you there? So that's kind of
What gets you there the fastest?
yeah. Well, that's kind of where I'm at. For me, from where I'm at in my personal situation, not having any kids or any dependents, and having a lot of flexibility, ownership. But again, someone who's just like me might say, "No, I'm renting, so I can turn it in whenever I want to," and yada yada yada. So again, you can go back and forth all day long. Whatever gets you to that goal
That's it.
of financial freedom, because that's what I'm about.
yeah.
Okay.
Vinny, Vinny,
Who
real
hasn't
quick.
gone yet? Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Before I went out, I just wanted to say it real quick. I was just saying have a strategy and understand what you're getting into. So, like, if you're going to get a beater, understand that most likely you're going to have to do maintenance. So you probably should learn how to do your own oil changes. You probably should learn what the brakes look like, and understand that you probably don't want to just get a random Mitsubishi car, or, you know what I'm saying? You want to get a Honda, a Camry, something like that. Or if you're going to rent, you want to rent the right car, and that's why I wanted Ron to kind of talk about the issues, because just because you rent a Tesla doesn't mean that you're going to automatically ball out crazy. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know where to go. You have to understand.
Yep.
So ultimately, my point was just have a strategy, but know what you're getting yourself into, and use our channels as examples, use what we said as examples. But yeah, you got to know what you're getting into, because at the end of the day, this is your money. If your bills are on the line, if the rent is due, you make the wrong decision, now you're getting evicted. Who wants that? Or, at least you're paying a late fee. We won't go that extreme, but like, who wants to have that type of situation?
Exactly.
Because we're just people talking. You know what I'm saying? We don't know your bills. We don't know what you got going on. Just like you don't know what we got going on. We all have different situations.
That's it.
That's it.
So, I guess at the end of the day, it comes down to whatever your choices are. You're going to be a short-term driver. You're going to be a long-term driver. It really just and it comes down to your market too, because there are markets out there that can't support a drive whip or an Uber Hertz rental payment.
Nope.
Right? You might be in a market that just, like when I was just what was that, Sunday, right? Sunday, guys, I was over in Naples, Marco Island. Okay. All right. So Thomas, you're in Tampa, in the Tampa market. I can't wait, bro. I saw so much dark cloud, Lake Michigan snow effect, lake effect clouds on the Uber map, and $4 signs everywhere. I never got to see the red hockey puck that signifies surge, but doesn't tell you how much to surge in.
Right.
So my point is different markets support different things.
Yep.
My market here in Southeast Florida can support every platform as long as you know how to work it.
Yep.
For me, this is the way I'm doing it right now. For Nick's been doing it for a while with the rental. I'm doing it with the rental right now for the next 3 months. Steven was the rentor instead of the rentee, or he was the rentee, not the rentor. That's what I mean. So it's all different. This is why I say, don't knock anybody for what they're doing.
Never.
Everybody's got a place, and everybody has a reason why they do what they do. It's no right or wrong to this. It's what works best for you. So with that, you guys can go check out everybody. We mentioned it earlier. If somebody wants to put the link up, Hertz is now starting to sell off their rental cars.
Dude.
We knew this was going to do it. We knew that's what they were going to do. They came out and said they're going to start cutting back on their EV fleet because they can't afford the maintenance themselves on it. So just buyer beware.
Yep. And every car they got on their website, the starting mileage is over 70,000.
Of course. So, all right, last comment we're going to take here for tonight. Envy says, renting not worth it. I did it 1 year, paid a bit over 21,000 during that year, half the price of a decent car. 100%.
Correct. Yeah, you are right.
100%.
But it's like that. That's why I say it's a necessary evil. It's kind of like, okay, I have no choice. I just lost my car. I don't have a car. I need to do something, because if I don't do something, I'm screwed.
Ideally, renting is a short-term solution to build up some extra cash.
Actually, I agree.
You're punished for needing to make the extra cash.
Correct.
So you need to treat it like, you know what? I need to work the hardest I can possibly work and get the most out of it, or else it's absolutely worthless to you. You're going to look back and see your bill and be like, I can't believe I just gave them a free car.
So I want to come back to Envy's statement here. This is not a negative thing I'm saying.
Right.
He said it wasn't worth it, but if he paid over 21,000 for the rental for the year, I think it's safe to assume he made 60,000 driving.
I hope
I
he
would
did.
hope so. Yeah.
3 to 1's got to be your number, right? Whatever your rental, whatever your car. Listen, guys, whatever your car price is, I don't care if you rented or bought the motherfucker. If you're not making 3 to 1 on your money,
Right.
you get in the Discord. Let us help you. You got to make 3 to 1 on your money. If you got a $2,000 a month car note, and listen, there's no shame in that because a lot of people bought cars when they were at their absolute highest price 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I did.
No shame in that. There's no shame in that. It was that was the market.
Well, we can still shame Steven a little bit.
Yeah, you can
But
shame me.
hey,
Hey, I'm
Steven, you're not paying
ashamed. So.
21.9% APR, okay?
That's true. I don't have to take that one.
Okay. The point is, if you're not making 3 to 1 on your money, something ain't right. Something ain't right. You're doing something wrong. So anyway, all right, y'all. Yeah, well, so the 21,000 is the tax write-off was my point I was going to get to it. You got to remember, you can write off your rentals. It's a tool. Your rental car is no different than the mechanic that's got $10,000 worth of Snap-on tools sitting in while he's a student as a mechanic. He's got $10,000 worth of tools that he might use one socket once a month on. Think about it. You got to have good tools to do the job. A craftsman only as good as his skill at using the tools he has. All right. And with that, y'all, we're going to wrap this bumpkin. Bro, I want to thank everybody here, bro. I thought this was a really good show that I think needed to be had. I'm hoping we can do some more like this, these thought-provoking, getting different opinions from everybody. I really, really did like this show. I like the show. So that's on me. I like the show. Fuck y'all.
That tool needs to print these. That's what that tool does. It prints.
That's it. So let's get into the after show. Maybe we can get Musa back. I put him in timeout on YouTube, but I didn't put him out.
Oh my gosh! Now you admitted it. Now you admitted it. Dictator.
Now he's got evidence.
Now he knows.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. I don't think him. He called me Joe Biden, man. I slapped Joe Biden.
I know, right? What the fuck?
I will slap the shit out of you calling me Joe
Vinny
Biden.
does not have hair. Okay.
Me. Call me that sorry motherfucker. Got your fucking number.
I got 3 words.
Maybe he was just trying to compliment you.
Yeah, he can compliment these nuts. That's what he can compliment. Goddamn Joe Biden. And with that, y'all, we are out.
Yes, sir.